Begin. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to week 2 of ICC's Crack the Wellness Code session on wellness best practices, our series on nutrition, including food, recipe, and meal plans in the COVID-19 environment. Let me begin by introducing myself. I'm Ghazala, and I will be moderating this event tonight. A little bit about myself. I was a banker in my former profession, but I've switched gears to become a health coach in this dynamic field of health and wellness. I now run a startup along with my partner Ankita called H2BH, which is Happy to Be Healthy. We offer both individual and group coaching for both adults and children in an interactive workshop style format. And we help others feel their best through individualized food and lifestyle changes that meet their unique needs and their personal health goals. I currently also work with the school district, and I'm delighted to be part of the ICC's Crack the Wellness Code team. The agenda for tonight, I'm going to just share that with you so you can take a glimpse. Just give me 1 second. As you can see, we have the program outlined here for this evening. We have very prominent presenters today, and you'll enjoy each one of them as this session is very interactive as well. And before we proceed, I'm going to tell you a little bit about CWC. CWC has built an innovative wellness ecosystem. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Coming back to telling you about CWC. CWC has built an innovative wellness ecosystem of doctors, nutritionists, dietitians, health heroes, coaches, and diverse wellness practitioners. Health tech professionals and entrepreneurs, along with other wellness champions, back our initiatives. We also partner with leading wellness institutions, corporates, academia, and research organizations to offer evidence-based best practices plus preventive care techniques, combining Western and Eastern therapies. Our mission is EIEI, that is to educate, inspire, empower, and impact to help our community to take charge of their own health. To help the community cope with the current pandemic challenges of the COVID-19 outbreak, we are rolling out a series of digital programs at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesdays for youth, Thursdays at the same time for seniors. We also have our Saturday wellness support group meetings for bonding, experience sharing, and empowerment at 9 a.m. That's every Saturday. And best practice sessions similar to this one. The next one is going to be the following Sunday, which is the 26th of April. And these are all 1-hour sessions each. Besides this, we have ad hoc panels with doctors and practitioners, including psychologists, to answer questions and offer health tips. We highly recommend you to check out our website, which you can see at the top right corner, www.crackthewellness.org, and our email is cwcevent.icc@gmail.com. Take a look at our wonderful presenters for tonight. We have Ankita with Happy to Be Healthy, and we're going to begin our session with the cooking demo by Timari, who wears many hats. She is an author, a nutritionist, a professor, and a chef. And of course, Veena Uttarwar, she is our nutritionist on the panel for this evening. This is just a disclaimer that tells you that we are not here to prescribe or cure a disease. We're just an educational platform meant for providing you with inspiration on your own health and wellness journeys. Okay. Let me come back and take you back to the agenda for tonight. Sorry. Okay, so we begin our session tonight with Tamari, who is going to be doing a live cooking demo. And I'm going to hand it over to Tamari to, take you through your own cooking session right here with all of us. Take it away, Tamari. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So yes, my name is Timmerie Hagenberger, and I am a nutrition professor. I'm a registered dietitian, and I have a master's degree in public health. I teach full-time at Cosumnes River College in Sacramento, and I've had the honor of being part of Crack the Wellness Code's several of the presentations, including the live event last year, which was phenomenal. Now, today I am going to share a recipe for a refreshing lime dressing. And each of the ingredients are very specific. I'm actually going to start my timer because I don't want to go over time. And so I want to make sure I'm honoring that time. So I have several ingredients that I'm going to speak about. And I have on the Crack the Wellness Code website, in the nutrition and food area, there is a live feed for some of the articles. And one of the articles from last month was called Meal Planning Wisdom. And that was an article that I wrote. And it actually has this recipe right on there. So it is accessible right through the website for Cracking the Wellness Code. Now, I told you that each of these ingredients are very specific for health. So the first ingredient that I'm going to discuss, and it's in a specific order, is garlic. Garlic is an amazing anti-cancer fighter. So what we're going to do though is we can use a garlic press, or you can use a knife to mince, or you can smash as you wish, but I'm going to use this garlic press. And the most important situation here is I'm starting with the garlic, because in order for us to have the maximum benefit from the anti-cancer activity of the garlic, it needs to be crushed and then it needs to sit before you apply either heat, which is not going to happen in this recipe because this is a dressing, or acid. And because we're going to use a vinegar and we're going to use citric acid by way of limes, we want that enzyme to be able to form when we crush the membrane of the cell, the plant wall. We want that to sit for a few minutes before adding it to the rest of the dressing. So if you're making some other kind of recipe, I grew up as a little Italian girl in the kitchen with my grandmother, and she always taught me how to make sauces. And our Italian sauce, she would start with the onions in the pan, and then she'd press the garlic right into the pan, not letting it rest. She didn't realize that that chemical reaction is best done ahead of time. So whenever I use garlic, I crush it or mince it or press it first and let it sit while I'm working with the other ingredients. All right? So that's just a little pro tip. Now, this recipe, like I said, has several really important ingredients. So one of the ingredients that we're going to start with is mango. Now, mango is a phenomenal source of carotenoids. Those are the vitamin A, provitamin form of vitamin A. Provitamin meaning it needs to be activated in our body. But what that does is it allows our own body to decide how much vitamin A we need. So you never have to worry about a toxicity if you're consuming a carotenoid form of vitamin A, which actually means the color, the pigments in food. So the brightest of the fruits and vegetables are going to be full of carotenoids. So mango, great example. Now mangoes are best nutrition-wise when they're ripe, but when they're ripe, they're also very hard to transport. So many people end up buying mangoes at the supermarket that are hard. And that's because to transport them, they would get crushed, right? It wouldn't work. So buying frozen mango is fantastic because they pick it ripe and then they'll process and freeze it, which just means peel and freeze, within hours. So you're getting a lot of nutrition. So we're gonna put in the mango that I've thawed, and then you also have it accessible, and it couldn't be easier. So we have the mango, then we're gonna use apple cider vinegar, and apple cider vinegar is excellent for your body. There's actually a good recommendation is 2 teaspoons of vinegar with every meal. Not just drink it straight, but incorporate it. So into a dressing like this, perfect. And that can actually help with weight loss. All right, so we're putting in the apple cider vinegar. Could you use a different vinegar? Absolutely. You could use rice vinegar, you could use white vinegar, you could use champagne vinegar, you could use a white balsamic, although it's gonna change the flavor a little bit. But definitely, if you used a standard balsamic, it would probably be too dark. But again, if you don't, doesn't really matter color-wise, not a problem. Then we have ginger. Ginger is anti-inflammatory, even anti-migraine. Okay, that's very important to remember. But ginger gets a little difficult to handle sometimes because it can get stringy. So the best way that I found is keep it in the freezer because it also will mold in the fridge. So if you keep your ginger in the freezer and use a microplane, okay, this is a microplane, then all you have to do is microplane, and you can see on the bottom, it's full of the ginger. And it makes it very easy. And this is actually kind of thawed out a little bit while we were waiting. But when you do this frozen, it works like a charm, which it's actually working fantastic. And if you've never used one of these microplanes, I had a student who was so afraid to use it because she thought she was going to cut herself. But you can't cut yourself on the bottom. There's no way to cut yourself. And when you're on the top, you don't cut yourself if you're going down, only up. Okay, so it's a wonderful tool. So we like a lot of ginger because it's very anti-inflammatory and it provides a lot of flavor. Now, could you use powdered ginger? Absolutely. And it's nice to use both powdered and fresh. So we're gonna, actually, I'm gonna put a little extra piece in there because it's going in the Vitamix, so it's not gonna be a problem. It'll blend it right up. And then we have turmeric. So turmeric root, again, one of the most anti-inflammatory compounds on the planet. You can get turmeric powder, which is excellent. We can use both if we'd like, but the turmeric root is usually right next to the ginger at the grocery store. And again, keep it in the freezer and we can microplane it. And then we get this beautiful, gorgeous turmeric. Okay, every day, at least 1/4 teaspoon, which I know is not hard, especially with a lot of curries, with the powdered turmeric. Okay, now we have, let's see, white beans. This may be surprising to you, but white beans can give this wonderful dressing some body and fiber and protein. Now, I want to add lime. However, instead of reaching for my knife, what I need to reach is for this microplane again, because the zest of the lime, not only does it give it a punch of flavor, but it also protects our own skin against skin cancer, just like these little limes need to be protected against the sun when they're all day in the sun. So we want to make sure we're getting some of this beautiful zest. And again, this couldn't be easier, right? So this makes a wonderful pop of flavor. And we're going to need some juice. Whenever you work with limes, you roll them, right, before you cut them. Now, as you could imagine, if I had forgotten to zest, it would be much more difficult to zest little pieces of lime. That's why I always recommend on my recipes, you want to zest first. Now, the best way for me is to use one of these reamers. So I need a third of a cup. So I have a little third of a cup measure here. So I'm gonna get lots of juice. Now, when I do dressings, I'm not as particular as far as exactly how much of a certain ingredient, because I know that I can just adjust the flavor. So if I love vinegar, so I will do a little extra vinegar. Or if I have one extra lime, I'll throw it in there. If I want to add some orange, then I may add that. If I have some lemon, right now I have some Meyer lemons. So you can be very flexible. In my cookbook, The Foodie Bar Way, that I had at the Cracking the Wellness Code event and that you can get online, I teach you how to make a dressing from whatever ingredients you have, and they always come out fantastic. So we're putting lime in there, and then let me continue on with ingredients. Parsley from my garden. So I just washed it. I have a front yard garden. One day you may go out there and check it out. And then I have beautiful cilantro from the garden as well. So we always want to sneak the greens in there. Then we have chia seeds. Chia seeds will provide, and the greens, let me go back to the greens. The greens are not only huge anti-cancer, but they will also help you pull heavy metals out of your system, okay? They're very phenomenal for that. Now, these chia seeds, omega-3, fiber, protein, and thickness, body to the dressing without flavor, okay? So they're not gonna change the flavor. Then we have some water, and we want to not forget about the garlic. So the garlic has sat long enough. Okay, so it's been 11 minutes on my watch. I'm going to add a little bit more lime because I love lime, and I'm going to be the one eating this. Now, before we blend this, there's 2 ingredients that I want to discuss that we haven't talked about yet. The first one is black pepper. Whenever you use turmeric, you always want to make sure you include black pepper, because in our body, our liver will naturally try to break down the turmeric. And if we have some black pepper, it'll keep the amount of turmeric in our blood higher. And in some research, it showed as high as 2,000% more. Okay, so very important. And I have a chai spice blend that's on my website and in my book that also uses both. And a lot of the curry blends include both turmeric and pepper, as you know. And then the last ingredient is a date, a medjool date. So what we're gonna do though is we're gonna wait to taste it first, because sometimes the mango is sweet enough, but then other times you may want to add a little sweetness. And the very, very best sweetener on the planet, dates, full of fiber. Now, when you have the medjool dates, very important when you take it home, need to pull out the pits. So, because if you forget one of those pits, there goes your dressing, right? And could mess up your blender if you don't have a really strong blender. So when I bring dates home, I always take the pits out and then put them in a Ziploc bag and then stick them in the bottom drawer of my refrigerator. Then I have them ready whenever I need them. Otherwise, they can mold on the counter. And some of them, when you open them up, there's a little black mold. So I catch all those and throw those away, okay, when I look at them every time. So I'm going to wait on that. I have a feeling I'll probably add it, but okay, so now we've got all the ingredients in: mango, apple cider vinegar, zest of lime, juice of lime, ginger, turmeric, black pepper, garlic, cilantro, parsley, chia seeds, water, white beans. Yes. Okay, so now it's gonna be loud. is it. That is how difficult it is to make your own dressing. And you can see in here, maybe not. But what I do now, well, I should taste it, shouldn't I? To see if it needs, I have a long spoon. Do you know what it needs? It needs two things. It does need the date, and it also needs mustard. Mustard is critical for including, I'm going to squirt it in there, including in any kind of cooked green. So using a little bit of powdered mustard or prepared mustard will help bring the enzyme action back from the original uncooked raw vegetable, which is fantastic. So I'm going to blend this up. And the last thing to show you is how you can keep them. So you can put them back in, I thawed the mangoes in here, so you can put them back in a canning jar. Or if you want them in squeeze bottles, you can keep your dressing in squeeze bottles. That's exactly 15 minutes. We did it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tamari. That was wonderful. You got a lot of ingredients in that one dressing. Who would know that a dressing can pack in so much of antioxidants and other ingredients that you've mentioned? They had, I'm sure, a ton of vitamins, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions on, you know, the benefits of different things that you've used. You did a great job in explaining the benefits on each one of the items. So thank you so much for all that information.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So everyone, I hope you're enlightened. I certainly am. I had no idea I could use ginger and turmeric and pepper in a mango lime kind of dressing. So I'm going to definitely try that. I'm going to now introduce you to our next speaker for the night. She is right here with us, Ms. Veena Uttarwar, a nutritionist, and I'm going to hand it over to Veena. So Veena, please do go ahead and get started. Thank you.
Thanks, Gazela. This is Veena Uttarwar. I'm a holistic nutrition practitioner and a health coach. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all again. Let me give you what we covered in the last webinar. We covered immunity can be improved if you treat food as medicine, and two important types of food types to remember while meal planning, which are antioxidants and anti-inflammatory foods. And then while you're making a meal planning, it's a good to involve the family in meal planning and adding 3 vegetables in each meal, and ginger turmeric tea with a lemon and black pepper. If you don't like tea, the ginger turmeric banana smoothie, and cup of water every hour, and exercise every day, at least for 20 minutes. And gratitude, laughter are the best stress relievers to get good night's sleep. So today I'm going to cover 3 topics. One is grains, and a few pantry makeover tips and craving control tricks. For most of Indo-American, wheat is a staple food. Common roti is with the wheat flour. Unfortunately, industrialization has changed the wheat so much that our body is reacting to wheat products silently. So many studies shows that gluten from wheat is an inflammatory protein. So we need to reduce it gradually to get anti-inflammatory state of the body. Fortunately, India is a nature's basket and offers variety of grains without gluten, such as ragi, jowar, bajra, and then there are little small millets which are like foxtail millet, little millet, and kodo millet. We call it bajra and ragi, and different names. And then also you find here it's buckwheat. That is another one to experiment in our meals. And there is one, it's amaranth, that is also widely used in India. All these grains are nutrient dense, hypoallergenic, unrefined starches with balance of vitamin B and magnesium to support optimal digestion and balanced blood sugar. So I would suggest making changes slowly to move towards anti-inflammatory meal planning. It's very difficult to transition from wheat to all these grains. So for instance, if you're used to making wheat rotis, I would suggest start with half wheat flour and half ragi flour, and gradually you get used to it, acquire the new taste and start liking it. For enriched nutrients, you can add a spoonful of flaxseed powder to these mix. So it is quite fluffy and it gives more fiber. It tastes pretty rich. From my own experience, we now don't miss wheat roti at all. We enjoy ragi roti. Sometimes I mix with the jawar atta. So ragi and jawar, both are millets and both are anti-inflammatory. So another way of using millet is in a grain form. The simple dish that you can make in grain form is khichdi. So a lot of different people from different state, they use khichdi with the different millets, such as bajra khichdi, jawar khichdi, or foxtail millet khichdi. For my special tip to cook khichdi, or in South Indian they call it pongal, is with moong dal and three types of vegetables, and spice it with ginger, garlic, and turmeric powder, and add some cloves, cinnamon, and cardamom, and top it with cilantro and some ghee. You cannot go wrong. I feel hungry now. They all taste very good. Since we grew up with rice, it is very difficult to give up rice. Rice is also another anti-inflammatory grain, but it is full of starch when you use the white rice. So I recommend choosing brown rice instead of white rice. So it has some fiber. Brown rice is high in carbohydrates and elevates blood sugar. So we need to watch out how much quantity brown rice we should eat. To give some protein to it, I normally, we add some quinoa to it. So 1/4 cup of quinoa to 1 cup of brown rice is a good combination to replace white rice. Another tip I would suggest is quinoa is sometimes for some people it's not easy to digest. So if you soak it for 40 minutes or 1 hour, it sprouts, and then it is more easier to digest. So use a sprouted quinoa in a brown rice mix. So you can also make ragi dosa to make it more rich with complex carbs, and add the ragi or finger millet flour in place of white rice. So ragi or finger millet, it has a lot of calcium, potassium, and minerals, and protein too. So other ways to use whole grain millets, you can cook in place of upma, or sometimes you can use even bajra in salads. And there are a lot of nowadays you find a lot of flakes that you can use as a substitute for poha and all that. So you see, millet have a lot of number of health benefits. So it's very good to replace our. It will go easily replacement of in place of wheat. So, however, millet are known to possess gytrogens. That is an anti-nutritional factor if you have a thyroid problems. So please watch out. In general, millets are easy to digest with full of nutrients, therefore fit for consumption by every age group in the family. So from last week, what we said as a family planning and then make recipes and all, select the recipes. And this week, if you start making a grocery list, and then before you go to the groceries, I would suggest to make some space in the pantry for when you bring it, so you will have space for new food. And then, so it's not easy to replace new foods with old foods. So one tip I would suggest, I would call it healthy foods, or are called heroes, and the junk food or whatever you want to replace, those are bandits. So you organize your pantry so that heroes are up in the front and visible, and keep those bandits back, away from catching your eyesight if possible. If you have kids, then involve them, to ask them to choose the spots where they want to have the heroes and bandits. Or if they're okay, then you keep it away, or from the pantry, or keep in the garage. And same thing goes true with the refrigerator or freezer. For craving controls, I suggest, we all love sweets, and Indians are born with sweet tooth. So when you crave sweets, try some grapes or cranberries. Many times you feel quite satisfied because they provide with chromium, carbon, and phosphorus and sulfur. And if you crave some chocolates, raw nuts and seeds and fruits, they all provide magnesium, so it helps. Then if you crave soda, try a probiotic drink, which is kombucha, that satisfy with that feeling of soda, so that's a good replacement. Otherwise, you can snack broccoli or homemade kale chips. That really takes away the craving of soda. And salt cravings are big thing, and very common. Those are usually result of boredom or stress or lack of sleep, PMS, dehydration, or electrolyte imbalances. Or it could be some health issues or conditions too, that you need to talk to the doctor if it persists a longer time. I would suggest healthy salty snacks as avocado on a good quality sourdough, or a gluten-free toast with a salt, or edamame beans with a rock salt on top. And what else? Higher salt cheese, such as very hard yellow cheese or cottage cheese with some grainy crackers. So these are my tips for today, and I want you guys to try and keep open-minded and try all these new foods and develop new tastes. Nutrition is a science and cooking is an art, and they go hand in hand. So learning to be well is a skill that ripens over the time, and have fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Veena. That was fascinating. You ran through a whole gamut of different foods and different combinations, and I am so hungry. I really wasn't hungry, but now I am. I want to try all these different things that you've suggested. Very good tips on controlling cravings, whether it's savory or sweet cravings. And I learned something about soda cravings, which I didn't think there was a replacement for. So that was something that I didn't know. So thank you for sharing that. and we will talk to you again during the Q&A session. I'm going to now move forward and introduce everyone to our next awesome presenter for today. Please welcome Ankita from Happy to Be Healthy. And I'm going to share your slide, Ankita, so you could go ahead and take it over. Thank you.
All right. So good evening, everybody. I'm really hoping that you all enjoyed the cooking demo from Timari, and as much as I did. And also note down, I'm hoping that you all note down a lot of tips from what Veena had to share. Tonight, I am going to talk all about water. We all know why water is important. It's a very essential nutrient for us. But more than emphasizing on the why we need water, I want to emphasize today on how. How can we improve our hydration and improve our overall health? So first, I'm going to go over a little bit about why water is important. Then I would like to tell you a little bit about share 10 strategies, 10 ways how you can improve your hydration habits. So let's begin with why do we need water? Ghazala, we could move to, yeah, thank you. So let's start with this. Water. So the first thing I would like to emphasize is that water prevents constipation. So not drinking enough water is the most common cause of constipation. When we don't drink enough water, the body actually steals water away from the stools. So, we all know that we need to be able to digest all the good food that we get to eat. And also water can help our bodies to absorb the nutrients from all the food that we eat. So we absolutely want to emphasize on the benefits of water when it comes to eating good food and absorbing the nutrients from that food. Second, I would like to talk about how water helps to clean the body. Our kidneys need a lot of water to eliminate toxins and waste products from the body. Drinking a lot of water will help the kidneys do their job right. So we all know that kidneys, when they work optimally, all the other organs of the body, especially the liver, are more in balance. Thirdly, we want to be able to move our muscles comfortably. Even when we are relaxing our muscles, we want to be able to keep them relaxed. And our muscles are 70 to 75% water. So when you get dehydrated, your muscles don't work as well. Your muscles will feel tightened up. You feel a little bit more tired. Especially when I'm talking to my kids, I always like to remind them that if you want to run fast or jump up high, then water is your fuel. And it holds true for the adults too. Next, water is extremely beneficial for our brain. Like muscles, our brains are also 60 to 75% water. So when the brain doesn't get enough water, we can't think or send messages to our other body parts as effectively. Your neurotransmitters need a good amount of good water and good food, good nutrition and water. Another one which is very important, especially in today's time, is that water is a very good cough syrup. Drinking water is especially important when we have a cough or fever. Drinking lots of water keeps the breathing passages from drying out and getting plugged with mucus. Water can also help you cure a dry cough and loosen the secretions in the lung that cause a deep chest cough. So drinking a lot of fluids also makes up for the water through sweat. One of the body's strategies for keeping cool, and it helps the body to fight fever. Last but not the least, who's not worried about weight management? So water absolutely helps you curb overeating. I would say as a rule, or make it into a habit, to drink a glass of room temperature water, or even I would suggest that make it slightly warm water before every meal. A glass of water can actually help you curb your appetite to quite a bit. Moving on to the next slide. This is where I want to emphasize. We want to talk about how can we increase our water intake. So here are some simple ways you and your family can optimize your hydration habits. I know it's easier said than done. Oh, everybody needs 8 glasses of water, drink it up. It's not as easy. It's not easy for adults, and it's certainly not easy for kids. So what do we want to do? So first I would like to suggest is drink water-rich food. So food high in water content like soups and smoothies and salads contribute to the overall fluid content. So while it's healthier to get into the habit of drinking a lot of plain water to improve your hydration, if you absolutely must have some sweet tasting water, try waterlogged fruits. Watermelon, or for kids, you could go with 100% real food popsicles. Try smoothies and salads. Broth and soups are also very rich in water. Plus, they can significantly increase the nutrition content of your food. So by adding waterlogged vegetables, which brings me to the second tip. It says you can eat your water too. Ghazala, I would like to request you to just move to the third slide in this. So here I want to show you how your body is actually made up of 60% water. It sounds like a whole lot, but when you consider some of these vegetables, which are more than 90% water. So think about, incorporating zucchini, celery, tomatoes, bell peppers, which are super high in vitamin C, and you need your vitamin C not only to boost your immune system, but you also need your vitamin C to help your body absorb the iron. So eating all of these different vegetables and fruits not only count towards your total water intake, but they also provide you so many more vital nutrients. Your cabbage, your bok choy, all the Chinese green cabbages, these are all excellent sources of water. So incorporating them in salads and smoothies and soups and broths is excellent. Ghazala, I would request you to go back to the previous slide. Thank you. My third tip would be to watch out for water robbers. So we want to be careful when we drink a lot of caffeine, like coffee and tea and soda, or alcoholic beverages, which have a diuretic effect, causing your body to eliminate more water. You also want to think about avoiding a lot of sugar drinks. Sugar may lessen the absorption of water from the intestines. Drinking large amount of juices that are high in sorbitol, such as prune and pear juices, or even drinking a lot of apple juice can produce diarrhea-like stools and increase water loss from intestines. So, and we also know that sugar causes inflammation, so we want to stay clear of that. We want to stay clear of sugar drinks, but having whole fruits is a good idea. The fourth tip, I think, which is a very important tip, is to find a fluid companion. In these circumstances where all of us are homebound, I really want to suggest that get in a habit to assign a water bottle to each member of your family. A lot of us are stuck in front of our computers, are sitting on our desk for long hours. Keep a bottle with you, and every 16 minutes, take a walk around your house, in your backyard, or maybe from one room to another. Carry your companion with you, and while you're walking, just for 2 or 3 minutes even, sip on your water. So keep your companion handy. It will get you exercise, and give your companion a walk every 60 minutes. Next is advertise plain water. Here I just want to emphasize more on to stay away from the colored, sugared, loaded water juices, which, the shelves are full of these juices. Children tend a lot to migrate towards having little colored water, as you can say. So just foster, moreover, they foster unhealthy drinking habits in children who become so accustomed to the sweet taste of fluids that they refuse to drink plain water. So advertise just plain water. Number 6 tip for you would be to try waterless meals. It's best not to consume too much fluid while you're having a meal. The body normally produces its own fluids to help digest food, beginning with saliva in the mouth and then the digestive juices in the stomach and the small intestine. So drinking too much fluid with a meal can dilute these natural digestive juices, contributing to a little bit of indigestion. So plan your drinking your water before your meals or after your meals or in between your meals. And like I said, make sure you're making it a companion. So you're getting up every 1 hour and taking a few sips while walking. But there is an exception to to drinking the fluids is alcoholic beverages such as wine, which are best consumed with food, since the food in the stomach and intestines slows the absorption of alcohol, minimizing blood sugar swings and reducing the risk of intoxication specifically. Also, if you do like to drink water between meals, if you're having a spicy meal, for instance, it's best to drink a little room temperature water, since ice water tends to slow your digestion. The next tip I would encourage everybody to inculcate in their daily habits is to try water a little bit before breakfast. Ideally, start your day when you wake up with a couple of glasses of warm, lukewarm water with some lemon squeeze in it. Lemon is a beautiful detoxifier. I think Veena emphasized on it, Timari emphasized on it, and I couldn't emphasize less on it. It's really, really healthy. And, beginning your day with several glasses of water hydrates you and helps your body begin the day in a better biochemical balance. Number 8 is love your lemonade and forget fizzy water. I think I've emphasized enough on the lemon part of it. I just want to emphasize a little bit about the carbonated water. It does nothing for your body. In fact, the gas from the carbonation makes you feel fuller sooner. So drink less. So you end up drinking less of it. So if you do enjoy the fizz, I would suggest add a little seltzer to plain water, and that could give you the little fizz effect. The next one is try water for weight loss. And I think weight management is the talk of every house. We're always thinking of how to either maintaining our weight or maybe losing our weight. So can you drink more and weigh less? Absolutely, yes. Your body is a natural water heater. So when you drink water, which is nearly always a lower temperature than your body, the body expends energy to bring the water up to its own temperature. So you are not only drinking a non-caloric beverage, you're burning calories. And I think that's a darn good drinking deal for all of us. So your body can burn around 100 calories a day using energy to heat a gallon of cool water that you drink. That translates into nearly a pound of fat loss in a month. So these are my 10 tips how you can really improve your hydration. Next slide, Ghazala.
Sure.
So to actually summarize, I would like to give you 5 tips how you can 5 tips for watering your body. So I would say model it. If you want everyone in your house, in your family to drink water, drink more yourself. Ask for water when you tend to go out, though we're not going out. So, but make it a more conscious effort about drinking water than any other liquids. Inculcate a habit of soups and smoothies, and model this wet taste for your children. If you inculcate soups and smoothies, you're automatically encouraging them to have it's encouraging them to have more liquids. Plus, they also develop their little taste buds because you can incorporate a lot of veggies and fruits into this. The next step is tip is bottle it. Water bottles are fun. Like I said, remember to take your bottle out for a walk every 16 minutes. Sip on it while you're walking from room to room. Kids enjoy it. You have bottles of every color and shape, and make it into a habit. Next tip to summarize everything is to flavor it. you don't necessarily have to drink plain water. You can just make it more appealing with a slice of lemon, dropping in a slice of lemon, lime, orange, cucumber. Just make it more fancy. Flavor it a little bit without adding any added sugar, but with just natural flavors. You could also actually add a bit of your favorite 100% fruit juice into a glass of water and some ice. It's getting warmer outside. That would give you a little bit of flavor, at the same time encourage you to drink a little bit more. Next would be advertise it. I would really like to stress on it. When your family, especially kids, see all these different ads for soft drinks and sodas and sports drinks, tell them water is better for you and it doesn't have all the extra sugar and artificial food coloring. So that's the best drink of the house. The next is Food It. Food It is very simple. You just make a lot of smoothies and soups and just try and inculcate more and more different kind of vegetables and fruits. The last tip is Sip It. Sipping does actually help you drink a little bit more. So in conclusion, I would like to say that, take these 5 tips of watering your body, make it into a fluid companion, walk around with it, and drink and sip a little bit more every day. So I hope all of this will help you. And this week's nutrition goal that you would have is to inculcate a little bit of, change in your water habits. That's all from me. Thank you, Ghazala.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Ankita. That was fabulous, and I was quite happy to learn that we can eat water too. Because sometimes I get tired of drinking water, so it's nice to know that counts. And there were a lot of other useful tips, and I'm sure we'll have questions. But thank you again, and thank you to all the ladies who are presenting. Today at this time, it's 7:30 close to right now, so we can extend the session by about 10 minutes to take in some questions from our audience and viewers. So I'd like to open the floor for any questions that anyone has for any one of these presenters.
So let me say something from Jaipur, India.
Oh, sure.
I'm 8,000 miles away. This is Naren Bakshi. So first of all, I know Timuri for a long time. So Timuri, so nice to see you. And of course, I know Veena ji, who has become, she was not, but she's become a nutritionist. Wonderful thing. And Ankita, I don't know you as well, but you did a great job because I have lost 75 pounds.
And then again,
doing some of these things that you're talking about. So
wonderful.
Thank you for reminding me about water. I have been practicing it. So it was a wonderful thing. So
and then relax, take your time.
I'm far away in Jaipur, but I'm thinking about you.
So
thank you.
Take a moment in silence, feel the difference.
It's wonderful to hear your voice, Naren.
Thank you. So nice. I remember you all at ICC. And of course, I had one of my staff members who has been helping us in Jaipur listen to your thing. And today he's going to make mango thing that you said. And,
excellent.
But I want to thank you, honestly, to remain in touch with us, be connected with us. We are promoting your recipes to all kinds of places. So wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, so I would like to now open up the floor for any questions, and we do have a question for Timuri. Timuri,
Okay.
You mentioned your recipe on the chai spice blend. Could you share it with our viewers? I think you did allude to the fact that it was on the website, but if you could just, some folks really want to try it out sooner than later. So if you could just share that.
Absolutely. Right? It's on the nutritionprofessor.com. Mm-hmm. So if you type in chai, it'll come right up, a pumpkin pie spice and a chai spice blend. And
Perfect.
it's delicious. And it's actually, when we had the event last year, everybody who had the chai tea that we made with almond milk used that chai spice blend recipe. So if you were fortunate enough to be in Milpitas at that time, that's the recipe we use. So it's free, available for everyone. TheNutritionProfessor.com.
Got that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course.
Okay, great. And we have our next question for our nutritionist on the panel today, for Veena. Veena, do you, you spoke so much about grains, and one of our viewers is asking, is there a preferred grain that we should be eating over the other on a daily basis? You mentioned brown rice and, the fact that it had a higher sugar content, and to replace it with quinoa or make it into half and half and try different millets. So could you suggest what we should have more frequently on a daily basis in terms of your grain of choice?
Grain of choice, I would really like to include many, not just one. Choosing one is not, any good for, anything in excess is not good.
Yeah.
So it needs
Nice
to be
to have a
balanced. That's why, like if you take in India, it's divided between wheat or rice, like north is wheat and south is rice.
Right.
So that's why I started including, brown rice with the quinoa for South Indians, and North Indians, if you are wheat, side. My goal was to go towards anti-inflammatory, but at the same time, make sure white rice is anti-inflammatory, but it is a starch, so it elevates the blood sugar levels. So for myself, we are Maharashtrians, so we eat more of a jowar. So I mix jowar flour and the ragi flour, or jowar flour or bajra flour, like that.
Okay.
So, but I started with making from wheat to jowar, but it's not easy to find good jowar flour here. So you can try with the different ones.
Okay.
You can even mix with the rice, and there is a different method to do it. But South Indians still cook rice flour and the ragi flour roti also.
Yeah, you do get ragi flour here at the grocery store.
Yeah. That's more quality-wise, it's much better than the jowar flour. It oxidizes, so it tastes bitter.
Here. Yeah.
Longer shelf line is shorter.
Right. Okay, thank you. Good to know, and thank you for sharing.
Could I make a suggestion too? Do you mind?
Of course, please do.
I don't know how many of you have played around with black rice, but black rice is phenomenal. And as far as the nutrients, it has some of the same phytonutrients, the anthocyanins that come in blueberries, and those purple, dark purple colored kale, and trying to think of other eggplant, all of those have those fantastic anthocyanins. So black rice has actually been shown to be excellent. So well above brown and white rice, of course. And there's red rice, Bhutanese red rice, there's wild rice in that rice family, right. But also the importance of making sure you have more legume than rice. So as far as microbiome, so that's really helpful. So what we often think about the dal, the lentil, right. And then the rice, but more dal, less rice, right. Ideally, and then sweet potato and some of those. But just wanted to add.
Big index, I think that grains are higher, legumes are better in terms of fiber content and
yes.
glycemic factor. Thank you for sharing that. Is black rice widely available, Timari, in stores? I haven't seen too many of those on shelves.
Yes, I have found it. I found it in a lot of Asian stores. So it's readily available. Same thing with the red, even organic red Bhutanese rice available. So looking around, and then some of the companies like Lundberg in California here, we have the black rice that's available. So
nice.
I wanted to add a little bit, Ghazala, that the northeastern part of India eats a lot of purple rice and a lot of black rice.
Mm.
So I've spent a big chunk of my childhood and my adulthood in northeastern part of India, and it's absolutely gorgeous to eat those rice. I miss those. So thank you, Timari, for reminding us.
Yeah.
Yes, find those. They are fantastic. Beautiful
Mhm.
color and nutrients.
That's
Yeah,
great.
you can make a biryani with the black rice and the lentils, sprouted lentils, and vegetables. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
I
We
just
make it
sprouted,
every day. Yeah.
just this week, I sprouted the beautiful black lentils. I bought them at the Indian spice store where I live, and the black, the urid, the little lentils, and they're gorgeous, beautiful sprouts. I actually have them in my refrigerator, but they are just fantastic. So lots of fun.
Okay, great. Thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate it. I'm going to look out for it, and I'm sure a lot of us are too. So our next question is from Mr. Bakshi to everyone on this panel. Do you suggest some different foods in extreme heat? As we are experiencing, it's pretty hot and humid in parts of India. So what do you think works well in terms of foods for very hot weather climate countries like India and tropical kind of weather? Any one of you can take that question, whoever's comfortable answering. Yes, Veena, please.
Drinking cucumber and watermelon juice with the mint. Keep drinking, even in water, you can just keep the slices of watermelon or mint or cucumber, any combination, and with a little bite of a lemon. That really keeps you calm.
Yeah,
and
I would
cool.
suggest the same yogurt and waterlogged vegetables as much as you can.
Yeah,
They would keep you feeling light and your body hydrated.
right.
Right.
And
Perfect.
it keeps your body temperature, pretty
Yeah.
level.
Cools it down. Right. Thank you for that, ladies. And I have one question for Ankita on hydration. So, one of the viewers is saying that they don't really feel the need to drink as much water during the winters because they don't sweat as much. Is it still required that they consume the recommended 8 glasses of water a day, or is it different for different climate conditions?
Well, Kasara, I think as a general rule, an adult needs around half an ounce of fluid per pound of body weight per day. And for kids, 1 ounce of fluid per pound of body weight per day. So for example, an adult weighing 120 pounds would need about 60 ounces of water, irrespective of whether it's summer or winter. And similar with kids, if a kid weighs 60 pounds, the kid still needs 60 ounces of water. So I would just suggest that incorporate a little bit more of soups and broths with waterlogged vegetables to keep the hydration level up, because I'm sure drinking just plain water in winters might get hard.
Right. So there's other ways you could make sure that
Yeah.
fits in your day. So that's perfect.
Right.
Thank you for that. At this time, I don't think we have any more questions. And I am also seeing that we're 10 past 7:30. So I'd just like to end by thanking everyone for your time today and also for our viewers for listening in. I'd like to just inform everyone that we do have a series of 4 different types of workshops that CWC offers every week. Our next one being tomorrow for senior wellness at 6:30 in the evening. So be sure to tune in and enjoy that as well. And I wish you all a nice evening and be well, be positive, and we'll see you back shortly. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Kasara.
Thank you.
Thank you.